Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. First reveal in over a week. Almost forgot how to do it, right? I hope everybody can hear me just fine. It appears as though you should be able to. So here we go. I got my 50 names here. And I've got a 1959D roll here. This is roll reveal number 110. It was supposed to happen over a week ago. Just getting back to the point of being able to do this. And so this is what we're doing. I'm going to unwrap it. Get this stuff off of it here. Tape. And open it up. Looks like a nice enough roll. Empty it out there. I'm going to start pulling off of the left-hand side as usual. Coins look nice. Okay, and I got the names in the bag, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a name for number one, coin number one. Let me bring my scope over here a little closer to me so I can reach it. Coin number one will go to Mr. Marshall, new Marshall in town. Let's see what we have here for the roll ender. Get it focused in a little bit better. Who we have here? Levels of Madness, Jeff Dunn, Midnight Silver Run, Farm Dog, Wild Bill. Don't have a whole lot of people here, but then again, I didn't necessarily expect to have a whole lot of people here tonight. This is sort of a makeup roll. I do still have a 1956D roll that I have to make up. I believe that was on reveal numbers. I'm not even going to say it because I don't know. I think it's 90 something. But I will get that made up this weekend. Working on trying to get everything caught back up. I got my office cleaned out a little bit. And here I go, getting everything all cleaned up and ready to go. And what happens? But I'm going to have another big box sale. Alright, Mr. Marshall's coin didn't have anything on it, so we'll move on to the next one in the row. We're going to do a big box sale for the auction this coming Tuesday. I plan on doing more rolls than I've ever done in one day of my life. That's right. More rolls than I've ever done in a single day of my life. I'm going to try to do 2,000 rolls. It's an interesting looking little coin there, but it doesn't really have anything on it. They keep moving around. There's a few little spotty thingies going on. Nothing that won't come off with a little xylene. I'm looking for anything double die obverse, anything double die reverse, and a number of different repunch mint marks that are known on the 1959D. Don't know of a whole lot of double die obverses. There are a couple, and then there's not really that much for double die reverses. There's a couple of those. Hello, Kevin Speaks. All right, third coin in here will be for Joe McBride. Joe McBride gets this little character here. It doesn't appear as though we have anything on this coin yet. Nice bright coin, though. All the reveals that we have for this week will occur either tomorrow or during the day on Saturday. I'm starting to work out my scheduling so that I have the better, higher value rolls in the evening times and the lesser value, cheaper rolls during the day. And the reason for that is because, well, naturally there's more people available during the evening to watch, and that's when I think more people will be able to catch up with the show live and jump in on the excitement. This one's for Guyver. This roll comes from a source in Arkansas where I found a decent share of really good coins out of his stuff, so I don't think there's going to be any problem with this having been searched. Of course, 1959D, I'm not always going to get varieties in them, but we can always give it a shot, right? Can always give it a shot. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I don't see anything going on this coin either, which is none too completely surprising, but it's not really where we're trying to go. Alright, next coin out of the bag comes to Levels of Madness. Levels of Madness will get the next one. Let's see what Levels ends up with. Does not appear to be anything special with the date or the mint mark area. It's a later Dice Date coin. You can tell that because see how the outside rim of the face is just kind of dug into? It looks like it's kind of almost double cut in a way. That's what happens when the dies start to wear out real badly. Back of the hair is doing the same thing. Alright, nothing here on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse. Hello, John Argent. Or would you prefer that I pronounce your name Argent? Because that is the name for silver in French. Argent pur. Pure silver. Steve A., I do not believe you are in this role. You are correct. Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher gets, so it looks like it's going to turn out to be a normal coin too. I'm going to start taking markers down, taking a look at markers. Got some heavy die scratches going through the 1/9 of the date. That'll be an easy one to pick out next time around. Sorry, what's still blue? Now see, this one's a slightly earlier die state because we still have some pretty sharp outer edges of the letters near the rim. That's a spot right there of something that is just stuck to the coin. It'll come off easily. And we're looking for anything that we can use to teach you. Hopefully we'll find something. Did I get my marker off of this? Yeah. This is the one that's got the really strong die scratches in the date. So let's pick for the next coin. Next coin's going to be going to Levels of Madness. This is the last roll that I have to do before I can ship the week's bounty. This will be 107, 106, 107, 108, 109, and 110 will all ship together this week, along with any singles that were won in the auction yesterday, day before yesterday, sorry. I tend to lose track of what day it is. Being glued to the inside of the house all the time kind of makes that an issue. Can't ever remember what day of the week it is. I don't even pay attention to what day of the week my shows come on because I record all of them and I watch them at my leisure, so I don't even know. Adam Chambers is next. Adam Chambers will pull this coin. And I've seen this die before. It has a heavier top than bottom, and it is a little closer to the 9 of the date than other dies that I've seen. this one, there's some chance this could be an RPM on the top. It looks like it may have a little bit of a split upper serif. I'll have to check it later under the other scope to check and be sure that it is or is not. A large die crack on the head. Do have a few spots running through this roll. Looks like at one time it was probably in a tube that was stored in a warm area. Hello, AZ Coins. I'm doing well. Unfortunately, I don't think this roll is doing so well. We're only on coin number 8. We've not found anything yet of any real measure. Okay, here's Adam Chambers. So it's got a die crack running right along the lapel. Okay, this is another one of those with the heavy die scratches in the date, and I know that because of this one really heavy die scratch that runs up and down above the 5/9 of the date, and there's just nothing on this die. That alone shows me that this is an original roll because I am repeating a same die that I've already pulled out before. That's important when you're looking for die varieties like this, because if you find one RPM, you know to go back and check the rest of the coins in that roll for RPM, for the exact same RPM, because there's a decent chance that you'll have more than one in any given roll, if it's an original roll. If it is a put-together roll, you never know what you're going to end up with. There could be 50 different dies in the roll. But in an original source roll, you're usually going to come out with fewer than a dozen different dies. Actually, usually fewer than 10 different dies. That's an active spot there. That's not good. It's got something growing on it. Not anymore. Let's see here. Nothing in the eye, nothing in the date mark. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. See what's on the reverse. And we have nothing at all on the reverse. Andrew Cooper. How are you doing this evening? We've got Paul Hampton's coin. Ready to go to Paul. Get the next coin. Our next person's name out of the bag is going to be Jim Fletcher. And Jim Fletcher's coin is this. Bottom part of that D looks a little interesting, but I don't really see anything there. So we're going to have to just kind of skip that one and move on. But that is one marker anyhow, is that the bottom part of the D is real thick. Let's see what else we can find for a marker on this so we know what we've seen. There is a little tiny die gouge coming out of the bottom of the chin. You see that little die gouge right there coming out of the bottom of the chin? We're going to use that. See if there's anything else obvious. Nothing else obvious for us to use on that side. Let's take a look at the other side, see what happened at the mint. And I see nothing here of special importance. The storm that came through the other day did not do any damage to my place, but the neighbor to my west lost a tree in his front yard. Whole tree came down. Luckily enough, it came down so that it didn't hit any buildings or anything. It just came down. Let's go Wi-Fi. The next coin. This is another one of a die that I know I've seen before, or I think I've seen before. We'll go with this as having a scratch through the bottom of the 5 of the date just to show that we've already seen it next time we look. Gosh, this one's kind of spotty. These were evidently dumped from an old plastic tube into a newer plastic tube, because the plastic tube that I got these out of does not do this to the coins. What generally does this to the coins, these milky spots on the coins, is those old tubes that have an end cap on both ends that you pull off. Jessica says it's snowing. That's a 4-letter word. Ouch. Down trees and crushed cars. Yuck. Yeah, I don't remember any of that happening in... Oh, looky there. Hello, pretty. I don't remember having any huge issues in this area. We had those tornadoes a few weeks back. That did cause some damage around here. That is a massive RPM. That is nice. So we're going to get a really good RPM out of this roll, that's for sure. This one's going to go to Guyver. Guyver is actually presently non-participating because he had to go on a job and is away from home. I'm sure he will enjoy getting this when he gets back. Nice RPM. So I'm going to put this off to the side, call that die 1 for the roll. Put his name with it. There goes my drawer. Got a stack started now. I think it is number 4. I'm not going to sign myself to it, but it did appear to be number 4. That was coin number 13 in the roll. And here's coin number 14. That one's got a die gouge coming out of the 9 of the date, so we can watch for that. A little die crack above the VDB. No other doubling or anything of any sort on the obverse. So I need to flip it over to the reverse and take a look at the reverse and see what happened there. And we've got nothing on the reverse. That's coin number 14. Chuck Patillo. And number 15 will go to Paul Hampton. Paul Hampton gets this cute little coin. That's going to be this die, the one that has the die gouge above the 5-9 of the date. So we know this one doesn't have anything else going on. I wish we had more snakes in this neighborhood. That would be just awesome. And that one's for Paul Hampton. Move on now to the next person is Sissy Atwell. Let's see what Sissy gets. Another one of the same die again. Another coin of the same die pair. Got nothing special on the obverse. Got nothing happening on the reverse. And we will move... Oh, I got those in there backwards now. I'm using different insert material, and it's a lot thicker. This is on 16-point board, which I didn't realize would be so thick, and I ordered 1,000 sheets of it. So it's very thick stuff. Mr. Worley having just a little bit of hard time adjusting to it. One of my printers won't even take it. The other one does, but it kind of chokes. So it's harder to print stuff. It's harder to cut stuff. And I did all that so that I could have flip inserts that were already printed on one side. Messes up my day. Totally. But the inserts are nice and thick. I'll take this one out and show it to you. You can see just, they're extremely thick cardboard. And I had this printed on the backs of them, and they came in sheets like that. And, well, they're just a little bit too thick. But is what it is. Moving right along. Mr. Worley. Mr. Worley will pick up the next one. What do we have here? It's not one of the ones that I recognize right off the bat. This one has a die scratch going from the 1 to the chin. Or a few of them, from the 1-9 to the chin. A die scratch inside the eye. Not seeing any doubling of any kind on this one. Let's take a look at the reverse. See what we can see there. And see how the light on the top of the F there makes it look like the top of the F is doubled. The top of the S and the top of the E. That is a reflection coming in from the rim that's standing up out in front of it. If I flip it around this way, you can see very clearly that that's just a reflection of light. That's all it is. All right. Hey, Spike Tag Die Cracks. If you do find something in any of the rolls that you've purchased from us, I would like for you to email pictures of what you have found to Brady Douglas, bd@coppercoins.com. It's his initials, bd@coppercoins.com. If it's a really good find, he'll get you up on the Wall of Fame. Got a spot right up on the Copper Coins Facebook page just for you and the coins you find in the rolls we sell. That's how confident I am that there is a good chance that you can find stuff in the rolls you buy from me, because none of them are pre-searched. In most cases, you'll be the first person to see what's in those rolls for dozens of years. That was for Wild Bill. Let's move on to coin number 20. Are we only on coin number? We're only on coin number 20. Coin number 20 also goes to Wild Bill. Not even halfway finished with the roll. But we do have one example of a nice RPM. Major RPM, actually. Very nice one. One I don't think I'm used to seeing a whole lot. It's kind of scarce. I believe it's RPM number 4. My brain tells me there's some chance it could be number 17 as well, but I believe it's number 4. I remember seeing some photos of an 82 Philly from an email, and it was while I was drinking coffee this morning, and I usually just go through my email and look. I never reply when I'm going through. Drinking my coffee and eating my breakfast and going through and just checking what my day will bring. And then I forgot to reply to it. I think I remember what I saw not being a variety. But I'll have to go back and take a look at it and reply to you. I do not know what all this stuff is on these coins. Yeah, that's gone. It's little active spots. I don't like these little active spots. They come off easily when you just wipe them with a Q-tip, and they're gone. But the damage they've done to the coin is already done. That's the unfortunate part to it. Mint State Numismatics, how you doing? Cuds are us. We do have one goodie, Cuds are us. The one goodie we have was a nice 1959 DRPM. This is roll reveal number 110. It was sold 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and it should have been done last week, but it would have, the time that it was scheduled for would have interfered with Jessica's auction, so I postponed it, and then I got busy doing something else, and just now got back around to doing it. A little disappointed in the spots in these coins, but they're not bad. They're not real bad. They're just kind of annoying. Not all that many of them. Just annoying where they are. See what I've got now. Bulldog. This is Bulldog's one coin for the roll. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything on this one. I will be going through this roll again prior to packaging it to make sure that I've caught everything. So I don't want to send any of these coins out to you without catching it. Anything that could be on there. I also do the attribution on these coins, so if there are any die varieties in here, I will identify them, let you know what they are. If they happen to be something that I can take a photograph of to use on coppercoins.com, I do photograph them, that becomes a plate coin. I sign the inserts to all the plate coins, send them to you, and you get the credit on the website for it. Now, if you do have a die variety, but it doesn't happen to be a plate coin, I will annotate that it is a die variety on the flip insert. In fact, you get a new flip insert for your die varieties, any die variety. And if it's a new listing, I annotate that too. And I annotate when it became a new listing by month and year. All of that, plus I go through these 2 times. I sort and separate them by the roll at first, and then I eventually sort and separate them by each person's name. Then I put them all in pages, get them all ready to go, package them up, and send them out. It can take up to 2 weeks for that to happen. So you got to be really patient with me on these because there's a lot of work involved in this stuff. Not complaining about the work at all. I enjoy doing the work. This one is a minor split lower serif RPM. I don't think that'll be listable though. I'll check it though. No complaints here at all about the amount of work that it takes. My issue is that when I get a week to 2 weeks out on getting these done, people start sending me a lot of messages. Where's my package? Where's my package? Where's my package? Well, I'd love to be able to sit and answer all that, but if I do, it just prolongs the amount of time it takes me to get stuff done. So generally what I prefer to do is spend the time it takes to get everything finished and sent to you so there's no question as to where everything is. So, not meaning to ignore people, however, I can't get much done while I'm sitting at my computer typing emails. Go Wi-Fi. Go Wi-Fi comes next. I have to source the rolls first, find what rolls I'm going to go through. Then I have to price them, get them up for sale. Hello, Jim Fletcher. I appreciate it. Thank you. Then I schedule it, photograph it, get it ready to go. Schedule it on YouTube. I build the graphics for it. And usually on Tuesdays, I sell the roll. And then it goes into a holding bin where on show day, I pick it out, get it ready. And then during the show, I do exactly what you see. I have to get all these name chips ready ahead of time. I have to get the flip insert cards ready ahead of time. I have to push all the flip insert cards into the flips ahead of time. Then the show starts, and we do this. Grab a coin, grab a bag, grab a name, grab a spot. And then, after this part is done, I have 50 coins in 50 flip inserts, and 50 flips, with names attached to them. And I go through, check every coin again. Any coins that happen to be die varieties, like say I find that this RPM that I have here that belongs to Guyver, I have to go in and figure out which die that is. Sometimes, especially with the more minor ones, that can take a long time to do. It can take 3 or 4 hours to figure out precisely which die I have, especially like in 1960D where there are a lot of different ones. After I figure that out, then I mark out, well, okay, I've got 6 people who found those. I get photographs of the nicest one. I get that one listed on the website. Taking photographs, editing photographs, uploading photographs, putting the information on the website, that takes a lot of time. Takes a lot of time. Then I'm ready to create flip inserts. I create flip inserts for them. I cut the flip inserts and I go through and I replace inserts. I have to pull these inserts. So like for instance, this is the RPM that we found. This insert has to come out of here because I'm going to print a brand new insert for it. So the new insert will go into the flip. Then I'm ready to start sorting them out. Oh, well, actually they sit until all of that week's reveals are done, so I can get them all in one package, sent to you all in one package. Then I sort them, put them into page protectors so that they don't clink up against one another. Then I fold that up, put it in your package, postage it, and send it to you. So from the time I actually source a roll to the time I actually send you the results, could be over a month. You see the last couple of weeks of it. Mr. Lungy. I appreciate that, Eric. Ray Lungy, what did you get, buddy? Let's see. Well, unfortunately, nothing with this coin. Are we only going to find one single RPM in the entire roll? Come on. Where are we going with this? There have been rolls before that I went through live on camera, and then later as I'm going through the roll again to make sure I didn't miss anything, I find stuff. Find stuff I didn't even know was in the roll the first time I went through it. One time, I found an RPM as I was going back through a roll. That looks like it could be a double die. Could be a double die on the bottom of the L right there. Some chance of it. Anyway, I'll have to take a better look through the other scope later. But this looks like it. I'm going to hold it off and call it die 2 for the day. That bar on the bottom of the L looks like it could be a minor double die. So I'm going to back off of this, set it off to the side, see what happens. Farm Dog, you may have yourself a nifty little double die here. Alright, let's take a look at the reverse. You think you've seen 3 of those? Well, let me go back and check coin number 29. We'll go back and check coin number 29 and see what happens. That was just 2 coins ago. I'll go back and look at it. So that's coin number 31 for Farm Dog. I'm going to go back to coin number 29. 29 belonged to Mr. Worley. We're going to pull it out and we're going to check it again to see if it has that bar. And no, sir, it does not. No bar L. And let's see. Let's go back and look at Mr. Fletcher's last coin. That would be coin number 27. Let's go back and take a look at it real quick. Don't want to miss anything. Here's Mr. Fletcher's last coin. This could possibly be... No, it's not. There's nothing there. Oh yeah, it sure does. Little flashes of light can really get you. So how are double dice created? Well, there are differences in how double dice are created. And that's reflected in the fact that there are 9 different classifications for double dice. But the most general way that a double die was created, and I say was because they're not created this way anymore, is that when a die went into the hubbing machine to be pressed with the design, it had to be pressed into the die a number of times in order for that die to completely accept the entire design, because it had to be softened in order to be malleable so that the hub could press into it and press that design in. They only did a certain amount of the design per time. A lot of times Lincoln cent dies were hubbed 3, 4, 5 times, depending on the size of the die. The larger die... Oh, I didn't pull a name for that one. I was looking for the name to put in there. I didn't pull one. All right, Robert Adams. Robert Adams will get this one. So, that's coin number 32. Where'd coin number 30 go? There it is. Coin number 29, 30, and 31, 32. Okay, now we're on coin number 33. Mr. Marshall again. So, I'm up to the point where you had to hub the design, or actually press the design into the die more than once. Well, the hubbing press, where that happens, it has a little key slot on it that makes you align the die the exact same way every single time it's hubbed, so that when you had to take the die out, heat it up, put it back in the hubbing press for another press. A lot of times they'd let these things cool off slowly, so it was a period of a day or more that it took to make a die. And as they would let those... Yeah, I think we will keep everyone blue. Because at least now I know... Well, Mint State Numismatics, I need to put him in blue. There we go. Almost forgot about that. Needed to add people who came tonight that weren't at the auction on Thursday. Or Tuesday, I'm sorry. Today is Thursday. Next one goes to Ray Longi. So that key kept the die in exact alignment every single time. But sometimes it wasn't in plumb and it was tilted a little bit. Or sometimes that key would wear off, or somebody would actually purposefully file that key off, and the die was not set back into the hubbing press exactly as it had been the time before. So when you rehub the design into the die, you end up with a slight shift in the design for that hubbing, which causes doubling on the die. So that when you take the die, turn it around and put it in a coin press, and you start making coins with that die, all the coins made by that die will have the exact same design, which contains doubling. Same thing with repunch mint marks. You get a die. It could be anywhere from a normal die, double die, or whatever, but you get a die and you hand punch a mint mark into the die. A lot of things can happen. It can bounce. It could be not quite strong enough and they want to punch it in there again to get it stronger and they don't align it properly. Or sometimes they'll punch it in upside down and think, oh, whoops, punch it in upside down, and they'll just turn it right side up and punch it in again. A lot of different ways. Hoop, hoop. There's a lot of different ways that you can accidentally end up with varieties like this. It does happen. It did happen over a period of many years. Sissy Atwell gets the next one. Come on, folks. We have found one really good RPM in this roll. Only found one example of it. And we are 36 coins in and haven't found another one. And the die pair that we're looking at right now, I've seen at least 10 times in this roll. Just happen to have a bad side of the curve, I guess you might say. Curve. That's a word that's been used a lot lately. Trying to flatten the curve. Hello, Sarah Gordon. Next one's for Sissy Atwell again. Hopefully Sissy can get something out of this roll. Not in this coin. Not seeing anything else here. This one has the chip coming up out of the 9, or the die scratch coming up out of the 9, so we've seen this die before. Or to be actually technically correct, we have seen a coin that was the result of the same die before, because this is not actually a die. This is a coin produced by a die. Or a trio of dies. You have the obverse die, we have the reverse die, and we have the collar. I have modded the two new people who showed up, Sarah Gordon and Brian Hooper. You two are both modded, so that when someone tries to steal your name and post profanities and other vulgarities in my stream, we will delete that person in a hurry. And we know the difference because you've been modded and they have not. We got some little children. They're probably older than me, but they're little children nonetheless, who actually think going into streams and stealing people's names. Oh, there we go. Boom. There's another one. That stealing people's names is a healthy thing to do. So there's Farm Dog with a really nice RPM. I believe it's number 4. RPM 4 is a really nice one. Here we go. Let's take a better, closer look at this one. Why not, right? Wow, look at that. Now, this one is going to be a D over D. You have what looks like, yep, definitely is. What looks like, I'm trying to get this back. We're going to have to turn it sideways to get the lighting to cast on it properly for us to be able to have this little lesson. But if you look at the upper serif, you'll notice that the division line runs through the serif below the top serif. So the top serif is your upper serif. And then the secondary serif is the one that's below. And if you look at the bottom, the serif that sticks out to the left more is the upper serif, and the one that sticks out underneath is actually a lower serif. So I'm going to go in counterclockwise order from the very top serif. It's going to be an upper, lower, upper, lower. And if you do that, if it's an upper, lower, then you have a rotated mint mark. So this is a D over D rotated counterclockwise. Counterclockwise is the direction that you have to go to get from the primary mint mark, which is the one cocked to the right, to get to the other mint mark, the one cocked to the left. And that's what a rotated repunch mint mark looks like. So we've had that little lesson. I'll move on and finish the roll. I cannot believe that we've only found 2 of these in this roll. Of course, we're only up to coin number 38, so we do have chances. There are remaining coins. Perhaps I shouldn't sound like I'm being a negative Nelly about it. I like finding 50 die varieties in rolls, but that does not happen often, and I have to get used to that and be able to move on in my life. Here we go. Adam Chambers gets the next coin. It's not going to be another one of those RPMs, unfortunately. This is... which one is this? It's a die I don't really recognize. Is this the one that's got the... no, didn't have that. Huh. Oh, look at that. Nice big old die chip right there on the bottom of the bow tie. This is the one that had the die crack running along the lapel. This must be a progression of that. That's interesting. A little progression of a die crack. Got nothing on the reverse on this one, so I'll move on to the next coin. Oops. Okay, get his name stuck in there. Otherwise I'll forget whose it is. Alright, here we go. Coin number 40. Coin number 40 will go to Wild Bill. Wild Bill, you've been waiting for a while. And this one's going to have a nothing on it. That's one of the first things that you do when you are going to attribute a die variety, when you're going to attribute, especially an RPM, is you check the attributes and make sure that your attributes are matching up to what you're looking at. So if it's a D over D north, of course you're not going to look at the south. You're not going to look at the east. You're going to look at the D over D north. Well, the next thing that you do is check the position of where that mint mark was punched to where the date is, because they were done by hand. You're going to have a million little different positions that they could be in. Only once in a great while do you have 2 RPMs that appear nearly identical, that are in nearly the identically same spot on the die. So most of the time it will be pretty easy to pick those from one another. And I'm pretty sure number 4 and number 17 have different mint mark positions. We'll go back and we'll take a look at it toward the end. We'll look at one of these coins and we'll just go ahead and attribute it, because I'm going to have to anyway. May as well do it on camera, right? Alright, Joe gets nothing there. Try for the next coin. Next coin will be for Guyver. And Guyver, it appears, will get one of the very late dice date obverses out of this roll. Not gonna be a really good coin. So we'll move on to the next one. Oh, I've gotten plenty of rolls that I've only gotten one of a given die variety in the roll. Drives me nuts. But it happens. Common sense. There's a new person to the family. Let's see what he gets out of this. Got nothing there, unfortunately. Let's see if there happens to be... No, our little bar L is not there either. And nothing on the reverse. That's coin number 43. Number 44 will go to Paul Hampton. Paul Hampton with coin number 44. And nothing again. The obverse anyway. Let's take a look at the reverse. At this point, I would not necessarily expect to find anything for doubling on the reverse of any of these coins, because we've been through so much of this roll, we kind of have a good idea what is and is not here. However, you never know when you're going to run into a big lamination or a coin-to-coin thing, like a struck through or some other interesting error on the reverse, that if you don't look at the reverse because you're pretty sure there's no double dies, you may be missing a pretty nice looking little error. Levels of Madness. It's coin number 45. Nothing there. We do have a lot of little spots. Little spots here and there. They come off relatively easily, but they have done their damage. And I think that came from this roll having been stored at one point in time in a very warm place in some of the old style tubes. Robert Adams again. And this is not one of the RPMs, so we keep moving, keep looking, keep flipping. Okay. Nothing there. Not likely that Cuds R Us is going to end up with snow, especially in April. Not a good place if you want snow, that's for sure. Low country region of South Carolina. But honestly, a lot of people wouldn't really know about the part about looking for the number of different dies that struck coins in a roll. They wouldn't know about it if they're not told. That's how you tell an original roll, is that you only find a certain number of different dies in the roll. Joe McBride. Joe McBride gets coin number 48. Come on, RPMs. Now see, here's one. This is a different die than I've seen so far in this roll. It appears to be an RPM. And it's the only one in the roll that I know of. I think it's an RPM. Yeah, it's a minor RPM. I'll take a look at it and see if it's something I can list. You can see the split in the upper serif right there. Oh, you didn't know about that before you watched my show? That's cool. That's awesome. I'm glad I was able to show you something you didn't know. Alright, let's see what else is on this pretty little coin. Then we'll keep moving on. Nothing on there, but we do have a little minor RPM that I'll have to take a look at again to see if it's going to be one of the listable ones. And that goes to Joe McBride. Next to the last coin, Farm Dog. Farm Dog will get this one. And on there I see nothing. I'm hearing a lot of car revving, like race cars, but we don't have any race car tracks around here. Not real close anyway. Kind of wondering where that sound is coming from. Sounds like people street racing or something. It's distant, but it's close enough I can hear it. Alright, there's Farm Dog now, who is going to get the last coin in the roll. The last coin in the roll will go to Robert Adams. Let's see if we get the RPM. No RPM, unfortunately, and we do have a coin that's got haze on it. Got a hazy reverse. Some spots on the obverse. This is the side that was stuck to the outside of the roll. All this stuff will come off this coin reasonably well with xylene. Xylene's not a bad chemical to use on a red coin because it doesn't really affect the surface of the coin. You just have to watch that you don't scratch the coin or otherwise mess it up with the xylene. Don't bathe it in there and let it stay in there for 3 years or anything. You have to be very conservative with the amount of stuff you use on any coin to make it nicer by chemical anyway. Alright, there we go. We have two examples of a really nice RPM. We have one example of a possible bar L double die, and we have one example, actually this goes here like that. That's the possible bar L double die, and then this one here is going to be a little RPM, probably the only one in the roll like it, but I'll have to go back and take a look again. Now let's take a look at this coin. This coin number 38 again. We're going to attribute this die variety. And there we go. I'm going to go over to my website. I'm going to take a look at... Yeah, here. Let's just do it this way. There we go. Let me move this out of the way. So this is the website here. And so I'm going to go to die variety search. I'm going to go over here. Oh, I got to get my keyboard out. I'm not going to get far without it. Go over here and type in 1959. And it's a Denver mint mark variety. Submit the search. And here is RPM number 4. We're going to go look at it in LDS. And I am going to have to... wonder... I can do it like this, perhaps. Let's see. Yeah. That's kind of interesting. But over here is our RPM. And yeah, I don't have a really good way of doing this. So you guys are just going to have to trust me. Let's see. This looks like it's probably definitely going to be RPM number 4. Not seeing anything on the RPM or in the RPM area directly that tells me specifically, so I'm going to go ahead and go over to a marker. We're going to look in this area right here, and then we're going to flip it over. We're going to look in this area after we look up here. So let's go back. Oops. I meant to say we're going to check this area, and we're going to check this area here. And we're going to check this area right here. And then there should be a little die break on the outside edge of the left base. And maybe even a little die cluster of die chips on column number 11. So now, let's go to the coin and actually check it. Man, I'm getting kind of confused. Okay. So the little cut at the back of the neck is there. You can see it right there. There's an extra little step on the back of the neck. So that is there. Let's look up at the D and the W of God We. And get it flipped around the right way so that we can see if there's anything there. Okay. I don't really see it. No, I don't see a die scratch on the DW of God We. So let me move on to the reverse, and let's take a look at the upper right roof area. I'm not seeing anything up there. Possible die scratch or die crack starting, but nothing too heavy. Let's check the left base. We do not have a die chip there. Let's check columns 11 and 12. This does not appear to be the same reverse. So, let me check the markers on Variety Vista to see if he has any information that leads me into whether or not this is a number 4. 1959D, RPM number 4. Right there. And he shows a lot of the same basic stuff I was showing. But he shows that there is a die break at the left base tip in stage B. Stage C. Stage D it's missing. Because stage D they changed the reverse die. So stage D only shows die chipping in the upper part of columns 11 and 12 and a little on column 1, which is there. There's no left base tip issue. I'm still looking. Hang on. Okay. I want everyone to get a mental picture of what this looks like right here. Get a mental picture of the fact that column 11, which is the next to the last column, has a little bulb on the upper right part and then a break going straight down the center of the column. And then column number 12, you've actually got this big head-looking break at the top. It looks like a statue standing sideways. And you're looking at a really thin guy, and you got his head up at the top, then you got his chest, and you go on down to his legs. Little stick man, like Slender Man. Now I'm going to show you this. All right? Look right over here. See the same thing? Now, if we look at this stage, stage D, you do not have a die break at the left base tip. You do have die crack on column 1, and you've got basically the same die cracks over here that I was just showing you. So this is almost certainly RPM number 4. So, to that end, I'm going to go to one more place. I'm going to go to doubledie.com. I'm going to look in the RPM listings, and I'm going to see if there's any chance that he has this shown. He does. but this one doesn't show any markers. Let's go and see if I can find any better. Memorial Sin RPMs, 1959D. He doesn't have... For reverse stage C, he does have a new reverse die. He has die scratches on the... What is this? Die scratches on the left side of the memorial base. Generally... Okay, there's some small die scratches you can see right there on the base. Let's see. Light die crack under the left baseline above the left side of the O and 1. What did he say it is? Crack. Under the left baseline above the left side of the O of 1. Oh yeah, look at that. There it is. You can see a little die crack right there. What else? Small die chips on column 11 towards center, die chip on upper area of column 12. Die chip on the upper right side of the T of scent. The upper right side of the T of scent. What do you know? There it is. Right there. So this is RPM number 4. I got enough markers that match up that tell me this is definitely RPM number 4. So that, boys and girls, is how that works. So this will be probably stage D. Stage C or D. It depends on whose site you're looking at as to what stage is what, because one differs from the other. But definitely I'll need new photographs for copper coins, because this is a different die stage than what is currently shown on copper coins. So I'll give you an idea that, yes, this definitely does interest me for photographs. So I'll have to pick the best one of these two, and it will get plate coin status on the website. Well, let's take a look real quick and compare. Let's see if I can handle doing this. For let's see if I can go to number 17. I'm almost surprised that I remembered number 17 was very close to the appearance of number 4. Yeah, the die scratcher, the die cracks on the columns are completely different on number 17. That plus number 17 has a much higher it has a lot of die cracks on the head that are not indicated otherwise. Let's see. There's number 4 and number 17 together. I'm pretty certain we're going to call this one a number 4. Lower positioning, and the markers match pretty much directly straight on. So that's where we're going with that. They're pretty close, though. They're relatively close to one another. But after reading the markers for number 17, or after reading the markers for number 4 on doubledie.com, and then seeing the markers illustrated on Koneka's website, Variety Vista, and seeing some of the markers on copper coins, kind of leads me in the direction of this is definitely RPM number 4. So there's 2 of those in this roll, and there were only 2 of them in this roll. Very nice coins, though. One of them will be photographed as a plate coin. The other one will be annotated as an RPM. The other 2 dies that I found in here, these 2 guys, a little minor bar L and a minor RPM. I'm going to go back through all of these coins and look again to see what's there. See if perhaps I might have found something that I did not see the first time through. And that's it, folks. It's 10:15 p.m. We're an hour and 15 minutes into the broadcast. So I'm going to take off here and go take care of my other business for the evening and get everything ready and done, get these packages ready to go out and send them out tomorrow. So anybody who has any of the reveals from 106, 107, 108, 109, or 110 on your invoices, you're going to have those mailed to you tomorrow, along with any auction winnings that you had for this week. Those will also be included in your packages tomorrow. And I will be doing, let's see, I've got scheduled 4 different reveals for tomorrow. Number 116, 1970S roll, will come up at 11 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. All these times are going to be Eastern time that I'm telling you, and I'm going to be doing one every 3 hours for the remainder of the day. So number 116, a 1970S roll, come up at 11 o'clock. Number 117, a 1962D roll, will come up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Number 115, a 1954D roll, will come up at 5 o'clock p.m. And number 114, a 1950D roll, will come up at 8 o'clock p.m. So you have 11, 2, 5, and 8 o'clock tomorrow. And then on Saturday, I have number 113, which is a 1945D roll, coming up at noon. And then number 111, the 1936S roll, will be coming up at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. And then if we get enough coins sold in the roll, we'll be doing number 112, the 1937S roll, at 7 p.m. on Saturday. So that's number 113, the 1945D, will be at noon Eastern on Saturday. Number 111, the 1936S roll, will be at 3 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, Eastern Time. And the number 112, the 1937S roll, if we get enough people to purchase the roll out, we will do that at 7 o'clock p.m. It's going to be 2 days of reveals all the way through. Hopefully we find a whole lot of really good stuff in there. But at the very least, we will be together for a minimum of 7 hours over the next 2 days, if you should choose to watch all the shows. And then Sunday, we're going to have another exciting weekend edition with Jessica. She's going to be doing an auction Sunday at 3 o'clock Central Time. 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time on Sunday. And then here next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be doing the Lockdown Special Number 3. Lockdown Special Number 3 box sale, where I will try to come up with 2,000 rolls to sell. 2,000 rolls. Yeah, you're glad you've missed watching reveals the last couple of weeks? Yeah, because they haven't happened. This is the first reveal I've had since March. And just haven't been able to get to doing it, but we got a lot of good stuff coming up, and so I'm going to go ahead and take off now. I'm going to continue to work on scheduling things and getting things together. Watch your YouTube notifications. Also watch our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is at facebook.com/coppercoins.com. You can find Copper Coins on YouTube. Come to our page, join up, and take a look for future notifications of our auctions that we will be having. And also, if you are registered with us by emailing coppercoinspayments@gmail.com, we'll get you on a mailing list where when we do have auctions, we'll send you an email and let you know that we have an upcoming auction that day, so you can get yourself reminded and scheduled in to watch it. That's all I've got for now, folks. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming by. You're always appreciated. I'm always working to strive to make better collectors of all of us. You guys have a great night.